ANC now on the second day of its intervention workshop into local government, trying to work out what the problems in local councils are. Dr. Thina Nzo is a senior researcher at the Public Affairs Research Institute. Dr. Nzo, good afternoon to you and thanks for your time. We've seen so many conferences and plans and interventions to improve councils over the years. Have any of them actually made any difference whatsoever?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yeah, many interventions have been done previously in the past. Very little difference has been seen. We can go back, during the days of the former Minister of Copter when he introduced turnaround strategies around 2009. And there seemed to be a galvanization of attention towards local government. But over the years, as we have seen, many of these plans kept on changing from one plan to the other. I mean, we even had a situation where we also had the National Treasury also coming in to address some of the financial, dire situations in municipalities concerning their fiscal abilities and capabilities to spend the budget allocations and to also spend their grants on infrastructure maintenance. But as we're progressively seeing, very little difference is being made. And I think here the ANC needs to take this very seriously because as we have seen over the years, there has been very little electoral support showing towards the ANC, primarily coming from the fact that municipalities and communities are finding themselves in situations like these ones that have been explained where they are now contaminated water. Drinking water is no longer safe for these communities. So, yeah, it's a very pathetic situation, I have to say.
It's interesting you say that because yesterday the ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula, speaking at the start of this event, said that people in Tshwane, I think he used the word Pretoria, but people there blame the ANC for service delivery problems even when they don't govern in Tshwane. We've got a big election next year. It is a national and provincial election, not a local election. But do you think then that the problems in local government are actually going to have an impact on who votes and who people vote for?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, within the context of the articulations of communities in Tshwane, you've got to remember that, yes, the ANC had previously governed Tshwane, but what has happened over the years is that the genealogical effects of the governance of ANC in Tshwane is a result of what we are seeing currently today. And we cannot even look further, but actually to look at issues that are related to party political divisions and factions and, fights, spiraling out of control because of access to resources, access to office. So, yeah, there is a genealogical effect that we are experiencing or seeing in Tshwane. But again, this is a worrying factor for the ANC, particularly the fact that some of the issues that emanate in society, particularly from communities, are issues related to the local state, because that's where, as citizens, as communities, we get to experience governance directly from local government. So local government issues will permeate the framing of the kind of electoral support that the ANC would garner going forward to the provincial and national elections. And yes, in provinces such as Gauteng, there's a looming threat that the ANC might not get that electoral support because the same kind of local government outcomes they had experienced in 2021, those are the very same people who will be going out in masses to go and show their electoral support for whichever party that they want to support.
The ANC for the moment seems to favour what they call the district development model. It's becoming government or is government policy. As I understand it, it would see councils sort of working together, sharing resources. I mean, I don't know how much one city engineer can do between 5 councils, but that's the idea, sort of. Is that the right intervention? Is that going to have any impact?
The district development model, Stephen, from my perspective, it reaffirms, the governance structure that is already existing, which is the intergovernmental relations framework that was introduced in 2005. That is the bedrock of cooperative governance throughout the different spheres of local government, provincial and national government. I mean, remember, there are certain functions that municipalities do not have the jurisdiction over, and also taking into account that certain municipalities within their size do not have the financial and institutional capacity to deliver, on those services. So that's where the crux of the matter also comes into play, that we've previously seen that there's poor coordination coming from the different spheres of local government in order to help smaller municipalities. And I think out of the DDM, what we will see is that smaller municipalities, especially rural-based municipalities, some of them who don't even have engineers or town planners, they could benefit from the district development model, because institutions such as MISA, government departments, national government departments such as water and sanitation, they could come in to assist these municipalities to bring in the necessary capacity in order to help those municipalities. But that doesn't mean that, we have to, put all bet our, our horses and, put our bets into one horse, which is the DDM. There are other institutional issues that the DDM cannot address, issues related to political instability under coalition governments, issues related to internal political squabbles over, positions in municipalities, and also fractured institutions, where institutions do not even have the necessary capacity, as highlighted by the Auditor General when you look at our Budget and Treasury Office. Those issues, the DDM cannot really thrust in its totality to address those complexities. So we need more than the DDM to resolve some of those internal complexities at local government.
Dr. Nzo, I hate to be this guy. I'm naturally an optimist, irrationally so. But if you look at everything that's happening around most councils at the moment, it's hard to see things get better. Is there any cause for hope?
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at the state that we're in right now, I mean, we only have 38 municipalities which managed to get clean audits. And if we look at other provinces, you find that, municipalities are slipping behind when it comes to their internal governance structures. For me, Stephen, if the ANC is really serious about local government, I think that the ANC should exercise its internal accountability and oversight structures, to crack the whip at the lower levels or the subnational levels of government. I mean, the ANC right now is conducting a workshop that wants to look at how they can remedy the situation for local government, and they're speaking about developing a local governance barometer that they can use to monitor the performance, of municipalities. But the ANC has internal structures, such as the legislature and governance subcommittees, of which, in my opinions, these subcommittees, which have the mandate, the political mandate to provide oversight over its deployees, political deployees in municipalities, these structures have not been effective at all, because that's where you start cracking the whip. The ANC knows which municipality.
Dr. Thina Nzo, I'm afraid we've lost you there. I'm not sure if we can blame a municipality. We'll, for the moment, blame the usual suspect, ESCOM. Dr. Thina Nzo is a senior researcher at the Public Affairs Research Institute.